Hello guys and welcome to section 1.2a negations. Excuse me. So what we're going to talk about today is how to negate a statement. Hopefully you hear the word negative in there. It doesn't mean just putting a not in there. It's going to mean to negate what the value is. So if the value is positive, you make it negative. If it's negative, you make it positive. So it's really making it the opposite of what it is naturally. So here are some statements. Remember, statements are either always false or always true. So here are some statements. The sky is purple. That is false. Okay. The United States is in North America, excuse me. That is true. The earth is flat. That is false. Giraffes are not short. That is true. It doesn't matter whether the statement is true or false. We will can still consider it to be a statement as long as it's always true or always false. Okay, so today we're going to use your highlighter and your colors. I'm going to try to use red, blue, purple, and green. Okay, so we're going to be talking about negating a statement today. So we negate a statement by writing the opposite of what it says. Okay, so the opposite of sky is purple is the sky is not purple. The opposite of giraffes are not short, giraffes are short. So to negate something means to write the opposite. Okay, so we make statements and negate them without judging whether they are true or false. Okay, so without judging whether they are true, this should say or false. Okay, that's a whole nother issue altogether. Okay, but once we are given a statement as true or false, we can note what happens to a statement when we negate it. So the statement, okay, the negation of a statement P, okay, so the negation of a statement P is not P. And the symbol, because you know we love a symbol in math, if you want to say not P, it's a little squiggly and then the P. Okay? That means not P. So the truth value of not P is the opposite of the truth value of P. So if a statement is true to begin with, when you negate it, you're doing the opposite. So the opposite of true is false and vice versa. Okay, so every statement has a negation that is a statement. Okay, so here is first example. 8 is less than or equal to 10. That is true. Okay, so when we go to do the negation, we're going to say 8 is greater than, and we can't have the equal to because it was in the first one, so you can't have it in the second one. 8 is greater than 10, and this is false. Okay, now the negation of a universal statement only needs one counterexample. Also, the negation of a universal statement is an existential statement. So instead of saying for all, you'll say there exist, or at least one, or some. Words like that. Oh, you can't see that. I'm so sorry. So existential statement is the negation of a universal statement. And you only need one counterexample to prove it false. Okay, so all cars are blue. So the negation of that could be some cars are blue. Okay, another one could be at least one car is blue. And then we can go to the basic one. There exists a car that is not blue. Okay, so when you change an existential statement, you change it from all to there exist, and also do the opposite of your verb. Okay, so it's incorrect to say, because it's a universal statement, all cars are not blue. So you can't just throw not in there like you do a basic statement. Because it's universal, you either have to make it some cars are, at least one car is, or you say there exists and then put the not in there. Okay, so there's a theorem about that says the negation of for all x in S, and you have some kind of phrase here, is there exists x in S. So notice that we changed for all to there exist. Remember, we have such that not this. Okay, so you put in there exist and not. Okay, so you have for all, and it changes to there exist and not. All right, so we're going to do some examples with this. All right. All right. Write the negation of each given statement. January is a summer month in South Africa. That is not a universal statement, so we can change it to just putting is not. So January is not a summer month in South Africa. Okay, this is every. So that, let's go through and mark the ones that we think are either existential or universal. So that's a universal one. Multiples of 6. That means all multiples of 6. So that kind of is a universal Some, that's existential, so we'll need to change that to universal. A successful birthday party. Must have cake and ice cream, so that's kind of like a must. So that's like a universal, because that's like all parties must have. So those are all going to be ones we have to be careful with. All right, so here we go. So every month of the year has 30 days. So we can say some months of the year. Remember, we change it to some and put this as a not. Do not have 30 days. Or you could change it to there exist. That would be a good one. There exist months of the year that do not. Multiples of 6 are also multiples of 3. Okay, there exist multiples of 6 that are not multiples of 3. Some rectangles are not squares. All rectangles are squares. A successful birthday party must have cake and ice cream. We'll put there exist a birthday party that does not have cake and ice cream. All right. Every month of the year has 30 days. We did this, I kind of did this symbolically already, but let's do it again. Oh, we're going to write the statement every month of the year. For all months of the year X has 30 days. Okay, so the negation of that would be there exist months of the year X. The X does not have 30 days. Sorry, my handwriting's atrocious today. Okay. Oops. And I've got my screen down. If you need to pause that, that's fine. And if you wanted to write it informally, you could simply write some months of the year do not have 30 days. All right, here we go. So to write the phrase, multiples of 6 are also multiples of 3. For all multiples of 6x, x is a multiple of 3. All right. There exist multiples of 6x such that should have been a such up here too, such that x is not a multiple of 3. To make it sound less formal, you can just say some multiples of 6 are not multiples of 3. And that, my friends, is how you write negations. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.